Welcome to the Total Boss Podcast, and I'm your host, Christiano Green, a podcast where we talk about finding fulfillment through self-development, being a leader of your own life, and getting the most out of it as well. Tenacity, originality, talent, authenticity, and being legendary. It's all about living your best life. Hello, all you total bosses out there, and welcome to another episode of the Total Boss Podcast. I am your host, Christiano Green, and I am a relationship coach for gay men, helping them to attract healthy, happy, passionate, loving, long-lasting relationships in their life. So this week on the podcast, I really wanted to jump in and do something that I find is going to be super, super helpful to all of you out there who are listening, who are following me, who are curious. And it's to talk about some dating advice, some things that we can understand, that we can work on, that we can implement in our own life so that, first of all, we can understand who we are and what we want, and then figure out what do we need to do to get that and attract that and have that in our life. So let's jump in and talk about some things that I think are super important in this space. So first of all, I think it's really clear for us to, get the concept of what is dating for us, because I'm sure you can really understand that there are so many people out there, and for different people want different things from dating, and they define dating differently, right? Now, you've got people who, might look at things on dating as, situationships. Maybe, you're dating a lot of people, you're just trying to, do things and get out there and date. And, maybe you're not sure what you're looking for yet. You're not sure if you're wanting this or that. And you're just kind of, out there doing things to meet new people. That's some people, right? And maybe you're someone who gets into situationships, right? I'm going to date this person and see how it goes, but not really have too much of an end goal in mind. That's a lot of people out there, right? Now, there are also people out there who are just looking for sex, they're looking for casual, bone buddies or friends with benefits, those types of things, or random sex with different people. They're always looking for something new and exciting, I guess, right? So depending on who you are, that could be you, or that could be you in the past, right? Sometimes people who are in this space are also just kind of going for what they can get. Maybe they've been looking for something else and have given up on it and just let's take what I can get, right? Depends on who you are, what you are, and what you're looking for. So here is another area, right? You could also be someone who is really looking for a long-term relationship, and you're looking for more of a dynamic that has intimacy and commitment, etc., right? So really figuring out what dating means to you will be able to help you determine whether dating someone someone is important for you. Because if you know what you're looking for, but you keep dating people who are not what you're looking for, then it's how do we go about changing that and understanding that? So getting super clear on what dating means to you and what you're really wanting to get out of it, right? So figuring out what you want to get from dating. So, it's super helpful to know what you're looking for as you go into dating. And when we talk about this, we need to look at it on a few different perspectives. We need to figure out, first of all, who am I? Do I know myself well enough? Because when I know myself well enough, that means I know who I am, what I'm looking for, what I want, and I know how to go about getting it. Right? When I'm not so sure of it, then I'm probably, someone who's got probably a more broader outlook on what it is. And so the broader I am, I'm going to attract a whole range of different people. And I'm probably going to attract some people that are not on the same level of what I'm looking for when it comes to dating as well. So the more you know yourself, the more easy it is for you to define the kinds of relationships that you're looking for, and maybe the kinds of people you're trying to attract on that same journey. So maybe if you're on this journey, what are some questions maybe you could ask yourself? What is my preferred relationship structure? What is my relationship orientation? Am I looking for a monogamous relationship? Am I looking for polyamorous? Am I looking for open relationship? What level of commitment, time, energy am I going to be willing to bring into this dynamic right now? What can I do? What can I give? Because oftentimes we go into dating for what we can receive, but we're not focused on what we can give, because we're going to focus on what we can give to other people as well. So really understanding that level of commitment, time, and energy is super important as well. What are your current priorities? How focused are you going to be when it comes to dating? Is it a side thing? Is it your main thing? Where are you at when it comes to that? Because your priorities are going to affect the ability that you have to keep going, right? Your priorities, if your number one priority in life is to find a partner, you will put all that time and effort into it. Whereas if it's say 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 on your priority list, it's going to be a lot less time that you're going to give to it. So really thinking about prioritization, is it a priority in your life? Do your goals and dreams involve another person or other people, or are they solely yourself? And to what extent or degree am I willing to work towards those right now? So when it comes to your dreams and goals around relationships, is it about you, or is it about other people, or is it about you together? Because you've got to get an understanding of that so that you can really be able to, understand what feels negotiable and non-negotiable when you're looking for a relationship. Because when you're able to identify those negotiables and non-negotiables, you're going to be able to continue to be flexible and allow what you're looking for to, evolve and be more specific to that relationship while being able to stay connected to your wants and needs, right? So really, what can you do to kind of maybe prompt that? That's going to help you figure out those things. Some things you could do is close your eyes and start to visualize where you see yourself in 5 years' time, where you see your life in 5 years' time. What do you see? Do you see someone with you? Do you envision those things in your life as well? Make a list of what are your firm values, right? Do you value monogamy? Do you value connection? Do you value intimacy? Do you value sex? Do you value, building a life together? Or are you values related to yourself? It's really clear to understand what are those values that you want to have as well. And, think about this. If you could, magically, make your dream come true, what would be different within you? How would you be feeling? What is that you're looking for, right? So these are important things to do. It's just to start to envision it, make a vision, and really start to understand, because that's going to be a way that you can really kind of start to draw into you the kind of relationship that you're looking for. Now, it's super important for us when we're dating that we don't just have a super defined one version of person that we want to date. We want to focus more on how we want to feel in the relationship, because if we focus on dating one person and having a, specific type, then what happens is we get caught up in seeing everything so black and white. It has to be this, has to be that. If it's not this or that, then it's not perfect. We need to kind of let down the walls when it comes to that and be open to meeting other people in our life, because, the idea of life is that variety is the spice of life. And so if we only date people who are like us or fit into one type of box, then we don't necessarily allow ourselves to grow and evolve and have the kind of relationship that maybe is going to be exciting and new. Having someone who is not the same as you, who's different to you, who challenges things within you, allows you to grow, evolve, and also, adapt and build a relationship together. So kind of get away from having a type of person you're wanting, whether that's look-based or, personality-based, and allow yourself to date different people. As long as you're dating people who have the same kind of vision for what you want from a relationship, that's the most important thing that you want to have. So get out of the way of thinking that you need to date a certain type of person, right? Just stop holding yourself back. As we know, no two people are going to be exactly alike. So even if you have a specific type, you can still be intentional about seeking a variety of different characteristics in people that have those, core features that you still want. So just allow yourself to be a bit more broad-minded when it comes to allowing people into your life, right? Now, if you're someone who has been holding yourself back from dating, or you are online, it's important to really understand that if you're going to be online dating, which is, probably most people these days, it's important to be aware again of what you're looking for and being aware of what kind of apps are best for what purpose. So if we're talking about dating, right, I think it's quite clear to most people that there are some apps that are hookup apps, and there are apps that may be more relatable to relationships, etc., or more related to people who are in maybe more rural areas. So let's talk about it. So if you're on Grindr and Scruff, predominantly, and again, there are always exceptions to the rules, is that Grindr and Scruff are more for hookups, right? They're basically people who are looking for sex, right? So if you're going on there and you're wanting to meet someone for a long-term relationship and you keep feeling defeated because it's not happening, don't beat yourself up about it. It's about finding the right app that's going to work for you. Grindr and Scruff predominantly are for sex, but a lot of people, including myself, have met their partners on those apps as well. So figure it out what feels right for you, but know the intention of what those apps are mostly for. So if you're going into it, you don't have a letdown because of it. So sex wise, Grindr and stuff are probably more the hookup apps, right? If you're looking for relationships, think about, apps like Bumble or Chappy, right? Those are key things for people who are probably a bit more serious about finding a partner. Again, on those apps, you're still going to get people who are looking for sex, but you're more likely to connect with someone on a deeper level. Now, again, if you're looking for relationships, Tinder or Hinge could be there as well. And those ones are more popular. So you're probably likely, if you're in a rural area, that those are going to be more apps where you're going to, again, have more time to swipe and meet people who are looking for relationships. Again, people are on there for sex as well, but probably a bit more likely that you're going to find relationships on those apps as well. So just being aware of what you're looking for and making sure that you find the right kind of app that's going to suit you for your needs as well. So when you're dating and connecting, it's all about trying to find someone that you feel you've got some rapport with, right? Because obviously, the idea of having the app is that you want to meet up with people and go on proper dates. So, asking them questions where you're going to feel like you're going to get to know them is key. Like, ask them stuff about their interests, ask them stuff about things that are important to them, whatever it is that's important for you to understand, so that you can make a decision whether you want to actually, maybe go on a date with them. If you get to that point where you're struggling with rapport, reach out to me. I've got a great PDF that I send out for free to people on what some of the key questions you can do when you're going on dates, how you can get more dates, and maybe even questions you can ask while you're online dating so you can get to the date as well. Feel free to hit me up and I'll send you a free copy of that as well. But as you get into that place and you're thinking maybe this is someone I want to meet up with, what I would suggest doing first, before you ever go and meet someone in person, is maybe consider doing a FaceTime with them before meeting up. Oftentimes online, people can pretend to be someone, people can use different photos, people can, not necessarily show up as who they are. So a safer way for you to be able to get to that place is just, ask for them to do a video call. Lots of the apps these days have the ability to do that. Some don't. But if not, get on a FaceTime with them and, do a video call with them so that you can, one, suss them out and get a vibe for them, but also make sure that they are not, catfishing you or not someone who potentially you're not going to waste your time going on a bad date. So really think about doing that before you go on a date. And if someone has a problem with that, then likelihood is that they're probably not going to be the right person for you to date, because I wouldn't imagine anyone who really is serious about dating is going to have a problem with FaceTiming you if they're really who they say they are as well. Think about that as well. When you're going on dates with someone, if you're looking for someone who's looking for a long-time relationship, don't look to jump into to something so quickly. Think about playing the long game by putting yourself in positions to meet potential partners, right? The idea is that, meeting as many people as possible isn't a bad thing, right? If you're someone who is serious about dating, don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Think about going on dates with multiple people so you can get to know the different types of people that you are wanting to connect. If you get to the point where you're going on a date, meet someone in a place that's safer. Go to a bar or a coffee shop, whatever feels right for you, so that you're in an environment with other people in similar energies and you're able to then, see how the vibe is with that person. Don't allow yourself to just maybe invite them to your house, because again, if you're looking for a long-term relationship, invite them to your house. Again, likelihoods that people are going to think that your expectations are different, right? So, really think about what it is that you're looking for and playing the long game, allowing yourself to date more than one person so that you can connect and see what's right. Until you put any labels on anything, you don't owe yourself anything to anybody else. You don't even have to tell everyone I'm dating 3 or 4 people at the same time. It's just about allowing yourself to do what feels right and go from there as well. If you're someone who isn't liking the online apps, what are some other ways we can meet other gay men? Depending on your areas, there's so many other community or community things that you can do with that are for gay men, or joining clubs that you can do, whether that's online Facebook groups, whether that's, those things like Meetup or Bumble BFF, things like that. There's so many different things that probably happen in a lot of neighborhoods that you're not aware of that you could go to where you could meet other gay men and then, get to figure out if, any of those people are there or potential people, right? Again, go into it with the idea of that you want to get to know people, not the idea of that these people could be a relationship. Because if you go into it with that, you might have a different set of expectations. But just I want to connect and see if any of these people are the right person for me, right? Just know that in dating, you create the rules and you create the boundaries, right? But you also have to be aware that there's another person involved. So you have to be aware that if you're creating rules and boundaries around it, you have to be aware that other people will as well. So really being clear on what you're looking for and what's right for you is important. And, allowing yourself to know that, again, there's more than one person in it. So just being aware of that is key as well when you're getting out there, wanting to date, right? If you're someone who's been doing this for a while and it's not been working out for you and you're starting to go into it with the wrong energy, maybe you're feeling grumpy or depressed or it's causing you some anxiety or frustration or anger, right? Maybe it's time to take a little break from it. Pull yourself back and really get to the core and figure out, again, those core boundaries, the core things at the beginning, which are who am I and what am I looking for and what is it that how do I define dating? Because when you can get to that core, then you can take the right avenue. But if you're at that place where it's just overwhelming, you're frustrated, you're feeling let down, it's probably time that you should take a break from it and allow yourself just to focus on some other things for a time. Some people get so caught up in this that maybe they're online 10 hours a day, right? Now, if you're online 10 hours a day and you're not getting good results, it's probably likely that you're not feeling so great about that. So really think about that as to if this is the right step for you to take. So these are some of the tips and things that I offer to, my clients and people that I work with when it comes to dating and the way that they should approach it. So if you're someone out there who's been looking for dating or has struggled with dating and, you want some help or advice, feel free to reach out. Send me a question. Send me a share. I'm happy to help in any way I possibly can because this is what I do, right? So don't feel like you can't, ask questions if something's popped out to you and you feel like, wow, I want to know more about that. I'm happy to go into further detail about that. So feel free to reach out, ask your questions as always, because I love hearing from you guys. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'll catch you next week on the podcast. And between now and then, always remember that you have got this and I've got you. Catch you next week.